Rapping Reason Podcast with Dr. Jeremy C. McCool and Earl Hopkins. All right, we're back at it again for another episode of Rapping Reason Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Dr. Jeremy C. McCool.
And I'm Earl Hopkins.
And it's episode 46. What's good, bro?
What's good, man? I just had a great weekend, man. Did a lot of Roots Picnic coverage. This is my third Roots Picnic, covering and attending and all that, man. So it was a special weekend despite, some day one, mishaps and whatnot, which we'll talk about. We'll talk about Roots Picnic. What else are we talking about today?
Man, we're talking about a few different things today, man. We're going to talk about that new Pusha T and No Malice. The Clipse have released another track, so we'll talk about that a little bit today. We'll talk about anticipation for their new project that's coming up. What else? We're going to do a throwback review.
Yes, man. Nipsey Hussle, Victory Lap, one of my favorite albums, West Coast albums, period, probably. So I'm excited for that preview or review.
Yes.
Of it, yeah.
Same thing. I was actually going to say the same. That's definitely one of my favorite West Coast albums of all time. So we'll get a chance to review that. Yeah, man. Got a lot of good stuff to talk about today. And stay tuned, man. But yeah, who was your favorite performer from Roots?
I'm
mad I didn't get to go. I'm salty.
Man.
I'm salty, man.
Okay, so there's a lot of great ones. I saw Tim's, Maxwell,
okay.
Glorilla.
She went crazy.
This is probably my fourth time seeing Glorilla, mostly by accident. But
you ain't gotta lie. You ain't gotta lie. They wasn't by accident.
Accident. I think this is I think every year I've covered Roots Picnic, she's performed. So
really?
She's a staple. Philly loves her, bro. And you could tell from just the reaction and just how comfortable she was on stage with us. And she's just a dope performer. But I would say of all the performances, man, I'll name what I think was the best and my personal favorite. I think the best was K Tronada. Because he shut down, he immersed you into that world. If you're not familiar with house, dance, music, what I tell people.
I'm shocked that a house music person would have been the person in Philly that got the most. Yeah, Roots Picnic has an older crowd. I would say. It does. Mature audience than some of the other festivals. But for him to be the one that got it rocking the most.
Yeah, man. He had the mindset. How I rate it is, if you immerse me into your world, you win. You win. A couple of artists have done that in the past. I would say, just a couple artists. I can't think of off the top. Just looking back at how many. Wale did a great performance. Busta Rhymes is always going to do that for you.
Busta
his energy is just unmatched, bro.
Absolutely.
Eve did it, and with her being from Philly, there's so many artists that do that. But I would say for me, the MVP was K Tronada.
Okay.
I would say my favorite though, of all people, dog, and I didn't even know she was a Philly area native, was Crystal Waters, bro.
I don't know who that is.
Gypsy woman. I can't even do the lyrics, but
that was
if you heard the song, you would know.
Song sound better than that.
It does. I can assure you. But no, if you heard her, if you're in that, clearly I was just feeling house, and I've only been listening to house ever since Roots Picnic Rap. I don't know what it is, man.
You've been in your house bag.
I've been in the house bag, the dance bag, man.
Okay.
And you see so many parallels. They sound completely different, obviously, but you see parallels. You see house music trickle in to hip-hop and vice versa.
Oh, absolutely.
So, listening to hip-hop, being a hip-hop fan reminds you of how influential the genre is.
Oh, yeah.
And what influenced the genre itself, man. So, it was beautiful.
And shout out Chicago, the home of the house
music. Come on,
man.
Come on.
I know there's other cities that try to claim it. You're lying.
You're lying. Baltimore is not yours. I'm sorry. No, South Jersey is not yours.
Absolutely not. Y'all do great renditions of it.
For sure.
But it's the Chicago.
The home is where the home
Absolutely,
is,
man. Yeah. And they still get it in at the Chosen Few in Chicago every year.
Wow.
Crazy festival. House music festival that takes up an entire giant park just full of people dancing all day.
Man.
Yeah, they get
I gotta go.
Yeah, I haven't been either, but a lot of my family goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotta get Chosen Few. But yeah, man, shout out to I'm mad. How did Jeezy do? I wanted to see Jeezy, man.
I didn't even see Jeezy.
I wanted to pull up with a snowman show. 2XL, tall
that would have been your set. I think I didn't see it, but from everybody that I knew that saw it was like, oh yeah, he killed it. They said Music Soul Child killed it. I had no doubts about that.
I've seen Music Soul Child live. He's good.
Bro, he's a great performer out here.
Yeah, I saw him at the Met here a few years when I first moved down here. I saw him at the Met.
Okay.
Cold.
And there's something about an artist performing in their hometown.
You can't be bad at home. You can't be bad at home. Yeah. So who else on there that I really want?
2 Chainz? Did you want to see 2
Chainz? Oh,
Chainz?
yeah, of course. Yeah, I saw 2 Chainz perform in my college for homecoming.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me that. Yeah.
So I got to see 2 Chainz live early on in his rebrand as 2 Chainz.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely enjoyed that. I'm trying to think of who else was on it. Man, there was a lot. That was a lineup, man. And I heard you got to see Push.
I got to see
And Clipse.
Push. Yes. So one of the surprises, and we called it on the pod. We said, listen, with the album being around the corner, their new album, the Clipse album, coming out in July 11th. Bro, it makes sense for him to pop out.
We said that last week too.
It makes sense for the Clipse to pop out. No Malice to pop out. It's his brother. Is Virginia, Philly is whatever. Right? It just made sense.
Absolutely.
And so Push. I'm gonna be honest though. Of all the Roots performers I saw, I think Push surprised me the most. Not because he's a great performer. No, how great of a performer he is. Like the energy, like the vibe, like having got onto the Clipse and Pusha late than probably most people. Like most hip hop fans, especially that tune in to R&R, I was like, yo, like his energy is like, it's infectious. Like the whole crowd feels it.
I'm gonna be honest, man. The Clipse don't get the credit they deserve for how influential they were.
Not at all.
And I'm not even just talking about musically. I'm just like fashion. Like they were really, really pushing a lot of stuff that's popular now back then.
For
like
sure.
even when you look at how people are dressing now, like a lot of that is with all the colors and the Bape stuff and all of that. Like a lot of them people attribute that to just Pharrell, but the Clipse was right there pushing all of that with Pharrell. So
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Which is why they've been able to make so many moves in fashion as well.
Yeah.
Especially as far as Pusha T.
And honestly, yo, I don't know if people make these parallels, but I make the parallel like when it comes, because, by all accounts, they started as dope boys that rapped over dope beats, right? Like, I don't know if we get luxury rap, like, without them, like, on the same level. Like, Benny the Butcher, when I listen to him, I'm like, I feel like that's a branch off of, like, Clipse's Tree to an extent. It's a different sound.
The only reason why I can't fully give it to them, I think they took it to a new level, but the only reason why I can't fully give it to them is because you had Jay-Z.
That's also
and
true,
Jay-Z
bro.
from album one.
Was
talking
Reasonable
fly
Doubt.
stuff from
Talking.
from Reasonable Doubt forward.
Yeah.
He was
wet
and
coastal trips over like in a yacht and all that.
Yeah, naming cars that people hadn't heard of early.
He told y'all to switch out cars. Like you said, don't get the what? 4.0, get the what?
I don't even know.
4.6 or whatever.
Something I can't afford.
Imaginary players. Yeah.
Yeah, early, bro. And there's so much stuff that I've heard Jay-Z mention. Like, it'll be like 5 years later, and I'll be like, I heard somebody mention this before. And it'll be an old Jay-Z song where I was like, he was talking about this 6, 7, 8 years ago. It's really crazy.
It's high art. Like, that's what it is. And that should be no mistake that I remember watching an old Pusha T interview, and he was like, I find whatever beats I get, usually Jay will turn down and vice versa. I'm like, that kind of makes sense given the fact that it's just, I call it designer rap, but it's just luxury rap. You know what I mean? At its finest. But anyway, to wrap it around, seeing No Malice, bruh, like that was crazy.
I already know, man. I've never seen him. I've never seen him live. I know that the energy was crazy though.
Energy was wild, man.
Because the Clipse, man, for them to have been inactive for this long and for No Malice to have disappeared out of the industry for quite some time. Like, I already know to have them two as brothers back on stage together was probably a crazy moment.
Yeah, man. And mind you, they're playing songs that are 23 years old, like off of Lord Willin'. They didn't even play, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't even play Grindin'. We all know
Stop
Grindin'.
Wait, they didn't play Grindin'?
I don't think so. Whoever attended can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they played Grindin', but they played everything else. Yeah,
you cannot have the Clipse on stage and not do Grindin'.
I'm pretty sure they didn't, bro.
But you know what? They have a lot of songs.
That's what I'm saying.
They could not, but I feel like Grindin' is like a classic record.
They play Mr. Me Too. They play like some other stuff from Lord Willin' too, they first joint. But yeah, it was crazy. And Ab Liva, like who was featured on Lord Willin' and like some of the other work, bro, I was like, dog, big as hell, bro. Bro was like a tank, bro. I didn't realize he could rap and he could play defensive lineman in the NFL, bro. It was crazy, but it was dope. And then 2 Chainz followed right after that.
Oh, so that's a nice little lineup.
It's a lineup, man. And yo, credit. He deserves as much credit as he deserves more credit than he gets even now. Black Thought, bro. So for the Clipse and 2 Chainz, they were part of J Period, a DJ. He was part of a live mixtape, and Black Thought rhymes over select beats from like the performers. So he rapped over Clipse, he rapped over 2 Chainz. And when I say, bro, it takes a certain talent, bro, to remember what you wrote on the spot, to mess up, go back, and then redo it again and do it flawlessly from that point forward. Like bro is like a computer. Bro.
Oh, he's alien.
He's alien.
Yeah, Black Thought there's a hand select amount of rappers that are like, these are machine, like these are next level talent and gifted individuals. And I definitely put Black Thought on that category of like people with like how does your brain even work like this?
Yo, it's insane. So all in all, man, I know the first day. For those that don't know, the first day was not great, bro. We talking 2-3 hour delays, 2 to 3 hour lines. We talking, like muddy terrain, all that. Wind, gusts, rain, all that. So it was rough the first go around, but I think like for Questlove, Black Thought, and the crew, the Roots, to like reorganize and get everything outlined, for Sunday, like 24 hours later, it's a credit to them. For people that are saying, yo, it's the next Fire Festival, it's Philly like scammed us, like, or the Roots Picnic scammed us, like, why did I put my money towards it, bro? You got to give institutions like that have been so entrenched in the community and so beneficial and putting artists on, putting food,
give people
vendors
grace.
And come on, give them grace, bro. They've been doing this almost 20 years, since 2008, man. Come on, bro. We're not doing that.
Yeah, nah, you gotta give grace in situations like that. And for me, now that mixes two things that I hate the most. There's not many things that I hate more than lines and rain. This sounds terrible to me. Now I'm gonna be honest. Now, but that's festivals, man. When you sign up to do anything outdoors, I mean, there's things that come with it. But apparently they released an apology. I know Questlove put out a message. You said so. Man, so shout out to them in Roots Picnic, man. They employ a lot of people in the city, a lot of people in the culture. So, yeah, man, shout out to them for doing some great things, man. That lineup was crazy.
That lineup was crazy.
That's why I'm mad I didn't get to go, because that lineup, that's one of those lineups you don't get to see Lenny Kravitz and Jeezy in the same weekend. Like that's like, different.
It's different. And I never thought I would see Lenny Kravitz, and truthfully, never cared to, but actually seeing him getting entrenched into rock music, bro, his brand of rock music, I was like, yeah, he's a legend. Like,
oh yeah,
he don't need me. Nobody needs me to say that, but like witnessing it, crazy.
Seeing it up close.
Yeah,
there's certain people, man, when you see them up close in person. I think I might have told you this story before. When I accidentally saw a Lady Gaga concert. You know what I mean? I never told this. So I accidentally at Lollapalooza. So as a kid, I was in this group called the Happiness Club, a kids performance group, and we performed on the Kids Palooza stage. So there's like a kids stage where there's like kid acts, but afterwards we got an artist band and we got to stay the whole weekend. So mind you, imagine being 15 and you got an artist band at Lollapalooza. You can go backstage anywhere.
Yo, that's crazy,
right? So of course I'm taking full advantage. And I ended up, I was going, I believe it was Wale. I thought I was at the Wale stage. I should have known his stage at that time wouldn't have been this big. But I thought I was at the Wale stage. So I worked my way up all the way to the front to watch the show.
Yeah.
And all I see is Gaga pop up on the screen. I was like, oh, I'm at the wrong stage. But by the time I turned around, bro, there was no way I'm moving. Like there's people literally connected to me at this point. Like, it's like I have nowhere to go. I'm stuck.
Trap.
So I ended up watching it, bro, and I was like, now mind you, it was extremely weird.
Of course.
Extremely strange show. She came out crawling with blood on the sand. If y'all don't applaud for me, I'm going to die. Like, wow.
What?
Very weird.
What year is this?
This is...
09?
Yeah, I graduated.
She was on fire.
Yeah, about 09, 010. Yeah, 09, 2010, somewhere in that range.
Pure weird.
Oh, pure weirdo. But I didn't know she could sing that well though. I was like, I forget that Lady Gaga is classically trained, so I'm listening to her. I'm like, oh, she sounds amazing, and she's like playing the piano while singing and like going crazy. So I was watching it. I was like, this is completely strange, and I would have never saw this on purpose. But I was like, I got to give it up. She gifted.
We gotta give Akon more talent than more credit than he already gets, man. Finding T-Pain and Lady Gaga, bro.
It's wild.
Two completely different, and both are like changed music in their own way.
Absolutely,
for sure.
And recently, man, signed a group called Sheesh, who we interviewed for the book.
Yes,
man.
sir.
Shout out LNS. Shout out Steve, man. His new signees, they got a track dropping soon. We have to review it on here, man. They got a track with Akon dropping.
Yo,
I believe it's dropping next week. So
that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, so we'll definitely review that on here too.
Shout out Sheesh, man.
Shout out to Sheesh, man. Also, man, we got a couple things we got to get into, man, and one of those being Clipse dropped a track. Speaking of the Clipse, man, the Clipse dropped a track within the past week called Trumpets.
Yeah, Ace Trumpets.
Ace Trumpets. Woo, and let me say this, man. Y'all, this is one of those records for me.
For sure.
And I played it in the car for the first time. The production, shout out to Pharrell.
Yeah, man.
you know, a lot of their production with Clipse has been Neptunes, and this is like Pharrell on his own. There's no Chad, and I gotta, if this is what Pharrell is doing this whole album, this is gonna be classic.
This is gonna be classic
because the production on this is amazing, and they talking grease. Let me tell you, I'll have to be the first one to say, no malice. This verse was very malicious. There was a lot of malice present.
Yeah.
When his verse is crazy.
It's crazy.
He is talking. Number one, I've never heard a verse start off with Pini Vaca. I've never actually heard nobody say the name of that pasta out loud. I've only seen it on menus. I've never heard Pine Vaca. The fact that you started a verse like that.
Already on.
And then the lines, the bars and no malice. And mind you, Push went crazy to start off.
He did.
But malice, it was different. It was different. When I was listening to the different bars on there, it was, I was like, oh no, he still got it.
Yeah, bro.
He still got it. Never leave the house without my piece. Like I'm a hot tub. Like he was just talking crazy.
He was talking crazy.
Yeah, there was a lot of lines in there. You know, never turn the other cheek. You'll die at the Oscars. I don't know how Will Smith and them caught a stray, but wild.
Yo, listen, bro.
Wild.
And his cadence, the flow.
And then he kept it the whole verse.
The whole time. Because I was like, he ain't keeping this up. Like, nah.
No.
Oh, he got another bar. And like, bro, it was an assault, bro. Like, he just kept hitting us with, like, you know what I mean? And No Malice reminds me, I don't know if this is, I'm going to try to, like, correlate this. He reminds me of Phife Dawg, not in, like, style, not in, like, he reminds me of Phife Dawg of A Tribe Called Quest, for those that don't know, because he's just one of those underappreciated MCs because we haven't heard him in the same way we heard Push, obviously.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We didn't hear him as much as a solo artist, like how we did Push. Push held it down as a solo artist for a while, as Q-Tip did. And no, that's a great comparison, actually.
Yeah, he reminded me of Phife in that way, dog.
Yeah, and he doesn't necessarily, people don't revere him in the same way just because he didn't have all of the solo projects from him. Exactly. But let me tell you, I said this when we reviewed one of their albums before, I've always gravitated to his verses. Like they always both been nice, but for me, like a lot of times his verses would stand out to me just because he would add in a little consciousness in it.
He would.
And I would hear it and be like, oh, okay, he's talking different, especially the last couple albums. So no, this is one of those ones. What did you think when you first heard it?
Yo, I thought this was like, because I was listening to Lord Willin' like 2 weeks ago. Because that's like my favorite Clipse album. And I'm like, man, like
Lord Willin' is amazing.
Oh, it's a classic album.
Absolutely.
And so I'm in anticipation. I'm like, yo, I can't wait for it. Because, you know, the rumblings about the new album has been happening for like a year's time. And we'll get into why it's taking a year.
Yes.
But, yeah, so I was just in that mode to listen to him. And so now that I'm listening to Ace Trumpets, bro, like they're sharper than they've ever been, bro. Like peak Clipse is ongoing. They still sound like that. Like they're sharper. Like Push is always gonna be Push, bro. Like he's always sharp lyricist, but having not heard No Malice in a while, dog. I'm like, what is he gonna do? Seeing him perform and seeing it and hearing this record, bro. Like you would have thought, bro, never left. That's how I feel.
No, absolutely. He has not missed a step. Like both of them sound sharp. Even Pusha T verse, even though Pusha T verse is nasty, but I mean, the wildest start to a verse I've heard this year. Yellow Diamonds look like PP is nasty.
It's crazy word.
It's a nasty way to start a verse. Disgusting, actually. But he continued to go crazy after that too. Like to me, their sound just has aged so well.
It has, bro.
Like it still sounds fresh. It still sounds like. Yeah, man, I don't know. The way that they are able, it's not even always what they're saying, it's how they word things.
Yeah.
It's just amazing, bro. Like I said, I've never heard Pine Vaca in the song. I want to go request some at a restaurant.
Just after hearing that. You got to do it in that cadence.
In that Pine Vaca. Like, no. This is one of those ones. Like this, I've played this multiple times since it's released in the car just because it's hard.
I'm willing to make a prediction. This is going to be, I don't care what the Grammys say. I don't care about none of that. This is already a contender for Album of the Year.
Oh, absolutely.
I heard one song from it, bro. That's how I feel.
The production on that song alone, even the chorus of how it drops out, like, it's just, And apparently they did some fly stuff. They recorded it in in the Louis Vuitton studio in Paris. It's something crazy. Like I didn't. Who even knew Louis Vuitton had a studio?
Like come on.
Yeah.
Yo, it's different levels. And so, how do you feel? Because you mentioned it. How do you feel with Chad not being a part of this album process? It's just Pharrell. You know what I mean?
So for me, I never was able to differentiate who did what.
Yeah.
Like when they were putting out records as the Neptunes, like. I've never really been able to differentiate who was responsible for what sounds. And collectives like that, you really don't. You don't know who pushed what button, who brought in what instrument. But since then, I know Pharrell has gotten some criticism on some of his hip hop production in the last few years, as people thinking he fell off. But for me, Pharrell is one of those people who always can pull a number because he's just so creative. I feel like you could never count out somebody who is that creative and innovative because they're always going to push boundaries, and when it hits, it's gonna hit. Like, and I think Pharrell is one of those. So I never knew truly what role Chad and Pharrell played separately. Yeah, but I know Pharrell on his own productions have always gone crazy. So
that's what I'm saying. I feel like him alone, like, cause I've heard him on Push's album. What's the one with numbers on the board? I'm forgetting the album title, but like it was a I want to say like 2013 album. But anyway, like just hearing just Pharrell alone, bro, he can compile hits by himself. You know what I mean? So that's never been a question. As far as differentiating, we can never know because we're not in the studio. But I feel like the weirder. Like the weirder sounds, experimentation. I think that's Chad.
I do too, and sometimes we don't need that.
We don't need it. Not for the clips.
Not for the clips. And I think that, and I would agree with you. I think like the NERD stuff they did. Yeah. That's probably what Chad.
Exactly. That's Chad driven.
The No One Ever Really Dies, all the like the more like obscure songs.
Which is hard in the song.
Oh, they've had some amazing songs. Even like maybe the stuff that they did for some of the stuff they did for like Nori and like all
Khalees.
I could see some of those more experimental sounding records. For sure. And those have been fire too. So, and I think that them together have made magic. But like I said, if this is going to sound, this is dark and eerie and like, if the rest of the album sounds like this, we got something going. And there's rumors, we cannot confirm this, that there is a whole verse on here.
That's going to be great.
It is rumored that there's a Jay-Z verse on this album. We know these days if Jay-Z pop out, it's a problem.
It's a problem.
It's a problem if there's a Jay-Z verse. Jay-Z has not popped out and gave a trash verse. It's not happening. He gonna go crazy, and you gonna give him as long as he tell you to on the record. He be taking up 5 minutes. The other rapper verse be 30 seconds long. Jay-Z be like, all right, I'm gonna rap at the end. It's 5 minutes long, and this is what it is.
Some people have just earned that right. Yeah,
facts.
He's earned that right.
Absolutely. Jay-Z like, you gonna let me rap until I'm done, until I said everything I want to say.
Yo, and once he's done, you liable for a Grammy nod. So
absolutely.
Let him cook.
Yeah, man. What he did on What's Free on Meek.
Come on, man.
That verse, legendary. Like, so if there's a Jay-Z verse on here, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Yeah. There's also been rumors, and this one has been confirmed by Pusha T. Pusha T recently did an interview with GQ where he spoke on the fact that there is a K-Dot verse on here. And that K-Dot verse is on a track that is called Whips and Chains. Or Chains and Whips, one of the two. And apparently that is what held up the album. He had record label problems, he said, with Def Jam. And then they wanting him to remove the Kendrick verse from the record or change it or have Kendrick change it, which of course they're not going to do.
He's not going to do
Pusha
that.
T and Kendrick don't seem like two people who are going to conform or alter their art.
They seem very intentional.
So absolutely. They're like, I'm not changing anything. And apparently that's one of the reasons why he ended up getting let go or leaving. Him and Clipse as a group and Pusha T as an artist ended up being let go from the label. And this album will be coming out under Rock Nation imprint instead.
That's so crazy, bro.
Yeah, which is wild to me. And they said that because of they thought that there was shots being taken at Drake. But to me, it's like, so what?
So what?
Like it's not like Def Jam hasn't put out diss records before.
Come on, man.
What are we talking about?
What are we doing?
I don't know. So I don't know if there's more to the story or what, but to me that sounds insane.
That sounds insane for like a couple reasons. Number one, why Def Jam would you care about that? Number one, it's gonna put more money in your pocket.
Right.
Just based on what that verse did. So if it's even remotely close to that, how is that not to a benefit of Def Jam? I get the UMG.
I think it's the lawsuit.
You know what I mean? I get that part, but do we even? I mean, I'm not even going to play the lawyer card. I just don't see that lawsuit really going anywhere. To be honest, they could settle and shut me up. I'm sure that could happen. But if you're a Def Jam, bro, like. Yeah, whatever, man. I'm gonna say so. It's hard because it's hard for us to take. We're not calling nobody liars, but it's hard for me, someone like me. I can speak for me to take Pusha saying it wasn't even that bad or allude to it not being really a shot at Drake. Push, we know your history with Drake. You can't. I can't take your word for it. You know what I'm saying? It could have been.
It might
bad.
be. It might be subliminals. It might or very direct. I don't know.
It could be either one.
He probably is like, I didn't mention his name, so we good.
Okay, that's a win if you're a Drake.
I would be shocked if there's a Pusha T and Kendrick Lamar song that exists without shots at Drake. I would be shocked.
Yo, and this kind of makes sense now because obviously, Push Pharrell. Kendrick has a lot of admiration for Pharrell himself, and he mentioned it on Euphoria.
Absolutely.
He said,
I'll inherit the beef.
Exactly.
I'll forget all that Push and P.
Pusha T.
Yo, so, and them two together on a song, I can't see them not taking shots, but so let it be.
So let it be,
Let it happen, man. We're trying to hear that. But apparently it's still coming out. It's still in its original form, as it should.
Wow.
So we will still get to hear that record on the album when it drops as well, and I'm excited for that, man.
What does it mean for it to drop on Rock Nation, though? Is Hove just saying, like, I mean, whatever, just go for it, or like, what does that mean? I don't know. I thought him and Drake had a relationship. Maybe not. I don't know. Music business be music business.
Music business be business,
cares?
man. We don't know if it's just, you don't know what their relationship is, but I think that I'm for certain that Jay-Z's a fan and a student of hip hop. So, and he's aware that, rap is rap. So I don't think he would block the song out because he's dissing somebody who he might have some type of business relationship with.
He a billionaire businessman, bro. Business is business.
Yeah, man. And look, I need to hear that record.
I need to hear it.
And Pusha T, man, has had some records that him shooting at that whole camp.
Yeah.
There's been a long history of him shooting at from Wayne to Drake to remember Exodus?
Yes. Oh my God.
Yo,
snap, bro. Went out that whole crew.
Pusha is different, man. And with that being said, man, this is the anniversary just passed on the story of Adidon.
These transitions are phenomenal. I'm going to just say that.
I appreciate that.
The story of Adidon.
Yes, sir.
The anniversary of it.
The story of Adidon, man. It dropped in, 2018?
2018, 7 years ago.
May 29th. Yeah. And what did you think about that record when it dropped, man?
I'll be candid. I didn't really like the song as much as I loved the moment. Okay? Let me explain. So I don't even know what Drake's previous, like the title of the previous diss to Push was, but I think I enjoyed that more as a song. Like take the beef out of it. I think I enjoyed it sonically more. But the story of Adidon is literally textbook on how you dismantle someone's aura. Like he didn't do this ultimately, but you get like the allure that Drake has off of him. Whatever perceived idea you had of Drake,
right? For
me, like I was a fan of Drake's songs. I wasn't necessarily a fan of him, the artist, like, or the persona. I wasn't invested in ever, really. But the songs I could rock with. Push, like, took all whatever perceived idea that you have of Drake off, because he's like, yo, the cover photo alone, dog. Him and Blackface, bro, crazy. The reveal of the sun, crazy. What's messed up, because I'm messy anyway. I already knew he had a son, and I knew who it was with. But for the world to then find out through Push,
you're a journalist, so you already.
I'm nosy by nature, bro. By profession,
you nosy by profession.
I was like, he did it with her. What? That was on, So anyway, that was crazy. That's how you dismantle an artist and his allure. Yeah.
And see, I'm the opposite as far as I like the song.
Yeah.
I go back to this once a year just to hear the menacing nature of it. Once a year, I return back to the story of Adidon because to me, it is dark, but it's funny. Like the lines are hilarious. Like telling somebody that a Steve Harvey soup person made them. Like talking about somebody's father. like just the way in which the jokes in the song are just hilarious to me. Yeah. It's very dark, but it's I don't know. I thought it was hilarious when I first heard it. I was like, yo, you should probably leave him alone.
Yeah.
And even like even at the end, him saying like, I'm just getting started. Like, we're gonna pull it back layer by layer. Like, we never got to see those other layers.
Thorough with it, yeah.
Like, and that was probably the best career decision Drake ever made, was to not continue with somebody like Pusha T.
It's not smart, especially because stuff we know. We know that Drake, like I said, I'm a journalist, so I'll go back to this. Drake literally mentioned in a VH1 like show that he bought like Pusha T merch thinking it was like really autographed by him, but when he got it, it was a microphone. It was plastic. And it was just like, you know what I mean? So like clearly bro was a fan. He mentions that, I think, at various points in his career interviews and in song, that he was a true fan. Now you can be a fan of someone and turn on you or whatever else, and you know, like nobody's
idols turn into rivals.
You know what I mean? Like Common to Drake in that instance, right? Yeah. Like so, but there's just so much to make fun of him about though. Like Drake is an easy lick, like for real.
Oh, very, very, very.
Especially with someone like Push's caliber, bro. Like he could really break it down as he did on that song and make you question your fandom of Drake and make Drake maybe even question some things about himself. I think he peeled back them layers for sure.
Yeah, man. He set the tone for all of the other diss records that were to come.
For sure.
But just a yeah, man. And rapping on the story of OJ too, what made it more diabolical.
So I was gonna ask you, how did you feel about him rapping on that beat? It was clearly like thematic, like for sure.
I thought so, because the story of OJ to me is a very important song, the original. At first I didn't like it. I didn't like the idea of making a diss track over a conscious, really important record like the story of OJ, until I saw the cover being him in blackface, and then I was like, I get it.
It makes sense now.
It makes a lot of sense for him to have rapped over that, and yeah, man, it's diabolical, diabolical record, but also petty. Just
petty for sure.
Yeah, just petty, man. But shout out Push, man. Nobody has really tried Push since. Have you ever noticed? Other than apparently Jim Jones and Pusha T have been going back and forth. That's a thing.
Yeah, it did happen last year.
Yeah, and they've been going back and forth like recently, like in the last week.
Too.
Yeah, apparently they people were saying that he sent shots at Jim Jones and his verse on Ace Trumpets.
Oh wow!
And Jim Jones came out and said something on Instagram or something. So there's a back and forth there. I don't know if I really want to see that, to be honest.
I didn't want to see it when it happened a year ago.
I'm gonna pass on that rap beef. Y'all got it.
Yeah, and I think people, for me, why don't you want to see it? I don't want to see it just because it's not of interest to me. I don't know.
I feel like I'm the same way. I just don't care.
Yeah. Like, I think it's that simple for real.
And maybe it's because it's two older people who are involved. Maybe it's that might be my youngness speaking of like, y'all too old for this. Like, for some reason, when it's Pusha T going to somebody who's a little younger, I can get with it. But when you got two people who are in their 40s, it's like I don't know. Cool. Or it could, but it might not even be that, because I feel like if it was a different artist, I might not have the same energy. It might be because I don't listen to Jim Jones.
Yeah, as someone who...
You listen to Jim Jones.
I listen to Jim, and people like laugh it off. Like, bro, Jim Jones can rap.
Oh no, Jim Jones. I'm aware that Jim Jones is talented. I just don't. I don't gravitate to that sound often. Like we reviewed his last album here, which I did like.
You liked it, yeah.
I definitely liked it, but I don't. That's not the type of music I listen to regularly.
And that's just not the type of like situation I would just really want to see. I almost compare it to like boxers. Like there's certain boxing matchups I just don't care for more than others. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it's age and sometimes even skill level, whatever the.
Maybe that's
varies,
what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that. Maybe it's that matchup that just doesn't excite me.
Yeah.
Because actually, I'm not even gonna put it on ageism, because I think if it was Pusha T and Jay-Z.
Oh, I'm on that.
I'm like, hey, I'm trying to hear this. You know what I mean? Or if it's Pusha T and so it's definitely not that. It's not age. I guess it's just I don't think the matchup is that interesting.
Yeah, and Jim Jones put out a whole diss record, shot a video for it and all that. I was like, I don't really care, Jim.
Oh yes,
I'd rather just listen to your album separately. But yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, man. So shout out to Push once again, man. Leave people alone, man. There's gonna be some shots at some people on this album.
Oh, for sure. I can just think of this.
But Pusha T does it like when it's not a diss track, he does it in just such a like sly way that if you don't know the situation, you wouldn't even know.
Yeah, legit came from the school in some ways of Hove, because Hove is
like that.
He might be the best at that.
I think Hove is probably one of the best. Yeah. And like if you know I'm talking about you, but I'm not even gonna say your name.
Yo, that low key would hurt me more. Like me. I'm like, nah, actually a public outing, there's nothing like a public outing. Bro.
I don't know. No, I feel like it hurt me. Well, if it's somebody like Jay-Z shooting at you, you want the back and forth to be bigger because it's like this is Jay-Z.
Now, if it's something deeply personal that he shouldn't be privy to and he's subliminally doing that, yo, we gotta squabble.
Yeah, keep that low.
Yeah.
But man, we got another throwback review.
Yes,
you know what I mean? These
man.
are some of my favorites to do on this show. As you all know, we don't just review new projects and new albums. We also do throwbacks.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll do older. Sometimes we'll go back 80s, 90s, but sometimes we'll do something that happened, in our generation still. And this is one of those moments, man. We want to do a throwback review. This dropped in 2018, and this is Nipsey Hussle Victory Lap. You know what I mean? And what were your thoughts when Victory Lap first dropped?
Man, it felt just like that as a longtime Nipsey fan. Like, I feel like I got on to Nipsey maybe later than other people. I got on about 2011, 2012. But, like, when I listened to this, it felt like a culmination of everything he was building up. Like, Nipsey had a great thing where he made you feel a part of the marathon, like the actual movement, and just everything that he was spitting as far as, like, everything on wax, but also just talking about with equity and just, like, ownership and stuff like that. Like, Nipsey made you feel a part of the crew almost. So anyway, in talking about that, he was alluding to this album what felt like 10 years, dog.
Absolutely.
So to see it all come together, Victory Lap, it felt like that for someone like Nipsey, who was independent for so long. And it felt like that for us fans, bro, because, like, it was everything he built it up to be, dog.
Yeah. I 100% agree. I think that this album was the album that let me know Nipsey is that guy. So I've been back and forth between the West Coast a lot since I was in college. And so I always heard some Nipsey records here and there. I didn't really start appreciating him as an artist until the Crenshaw project dropped. So I was a little later too. So when Crenshaw dropped, I was like, oh no, he's nice. I'm hearing more than just the features with him and YG or him with other people. Like, now I'm actually listening to him. Like, that was the first time I listened to a full Nipsey project. Yeah. And when this dropped, I was like, oh no, he's out of here. Like, this project was the one that let me know Nipsey is headed up there. He's gonna start being mentioned with the heavyweights because of what he's talking about. It's what he's talking about. The production quality on this was amazing, and this was the one where I really got a newfound respect for him as an artist. And the crazy thing is, going to the West Coast, they always, and that's why I said I'd always heard his music. You know, you hear a lot of YG, Nipsey, Problem. I was hearing a lot of those artists around that time. But this project really set him apart from some of his peers to me. This put him in another lane just because of the content, the subject matter, and the quality. Yeah. And this was, we gotta say it. I know, but this project is executive produced by Diddy. You know what I'm saying? And I think that him even bringing in seasoned music veterans like that to make sure that it was polished and the flow, it was concise, and all of those different things just is what makes this project so amazing to me. And this is definitely one of my favorite West Coast projects of all time. Yeah. Yeah. It might be, and I would have to sit down and think about it. It's in my top 10 West Coast albums of all time.
And some people listening to this episode and to this moment would think, what? Like, how can you do it over this? Nah, bro. Like, actually listen to the album thoroughly and
listen to it.
Really absorb, like, all the knowledge that he's speaking. Because it's one thing for the album to sound great. That was going to happen because Nipsey is on it. Seasoned producer is involved because though that combination is always going to make for great music sonically, but the message is weaved into it, bro. Like, throughout, it almost felt like every song had a conscious element into it. And that's what I love about it, bro. Like, you're not only dancing, enjoying, riding to it, but you also, like, thinking about it after, you place it on pause or turn it off. Like, so, yeah.
And no pun intended, it's hustle music. Like, it is. And I think that's the music I've always gravitated to. That's why I've always liked the Jay-Z's, the Jeezys. I've always liked go-getter hustle music that I can play when getting my day started that makes me want to go and achieve and succeed. Yeah. And I think that's what Nipsey gave here, but I think he gave it in a way where it was relatable. And yeah, man, he's just rapping on here too. Like, so even from the intro, I think it's an amazing intro. Yeah, Victory Lap, the intro. I love the vocals on it, the singing on it. Shout out Stacey Barth. I'd never heard of her before this, but amazing, like, intro. The intro I think was hard. Then going into rap ends, beats stupid. I love that record on there. I love Last Time I Checked, hard. Young Ends, hard. I love Dedication with Kendrick.
Come on.
Hard. Yeah. I really like, now that I'm going through this,
dog.
There aren't many songs on here I don't like. Keys to the City is one I love. Grinding All My Life. Double Up is one of my favorite. And this album has one, out of most projects, this stands out because there's not too many albums where I love the outro and love the intro.
Yes, both.
I love
Very
both.
few, yeah.
Right Hand to God, that beat is stupid. Like this, to me, this album starts, and this is why it goes back to that executive producer. I don't know who played what role, but I can guarantee you the person who executive produced this definitely was like, okay, you put this at the end, because it's too perfect. It's too perfect. It's too concise. Like there aren't many songs on here there's probably one or maybe two songs on here that are skips for me out of 16.
And honestly, the ones I'm skipping, I don't dislike.
No, I don't hate them.
It's just like, oh, okay. Like this is a cool song.
The ones I probably skip are probably Million While You Young, but it's still decent.
It's still hard though.
It's still hard. Like and Real Big, depending on my mood, I might skip.
Yeah.
Other than that, the rest of this, I'm rocking.
I'm rocking it. Yeah.
And to me, this is 100% a classic project, man.
Absolutely. And it's unfortunate that this is very much this is in fact the last project that we heard of him before he passed. Tragically.
Absolutely.
But, this is one that'll stick with all of us, like within hip hop for eons, bro. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is a classic project. Like this is one of those, and that's what makes it even more sad. Of course, the situation period is unfortunate and sad, but this one it's sad because it's like this was a project where we were able to see like where his trajectory was going.
For sure.
From doing all of this hustling and independently, from what he did with the Crenshaw album, selling the album for $100, and the genius that was that. I think this was the album that was going to separate him, but also it just showed like, wow, this guy's going like we'll never know where he was gonna go as an artist. We'll never know if Nipsey was gonna end up being the next Hove. You know what I mean? And I think that's like it's always even sadder when it's like when they leave at their peak like this. Because it's like, man, who knows who he would become. Same thing what people say about Pac, same thing that people say. Like, there's a lot of artists who are like that where they leave off at such a high that it's like, man.
Yeah, bro. And it's so crazy that you saying that because for whatever reason, like, after coming, like, getting off work or whatever, and I just wanted to listen to Tupac. And it's crazy because I was thinking that very thing. What would Tupac be today? Like, who would he be? What would he represent?
He was in his 20s when he died.
You feel me? He wasn't even fully, you know what I mean?
Nipsey was like, early 30s maybe?
Yeah, like early to mid 30s. Like, bro, there was so much promise. There was so much left. They made significant impact while they were present, but just imagine what they'll do now.
What they could have been. And even now, thankfully his brother is keeping his legacy going.
For sure.
They recently opened up another Marathon Burgers, the second location in Cali. So shout out.
What's the second location? Is it in LA too?
I'm not sure. I know it's in Cali. I don't know if it's in LA specifically.
But man, they already franchised a Marathon Burger.
Yeah, man. So shout out to him and his family in the state.
That's fire,
for keeping his legacy alive, man. Because it really does make you think like where like his future should not have been cut short like that. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate, man. And we lose a lot of the greats young.
Yeah. We do. And having read his biography, bro, like, you really get to see, like, just how deeply intelligent he was, influential, and everything else, man. So, yeah. But
and let me look up, because I actually do want you all to be able to know where that Marathon Burgers that opened up is.
Yeah, man.
I do want to be able to say those locations. The recent grand opening in London and them were able to attend as well. It's in Venice Beach.
Oh,
Boardwalk. Yeah, so
Boardwalk with it, dog.
Yeah, fly, man.
Foot traffic over there,
crazy.
They about to open a third.
Yeah, I'm already knowing them that next Marathon Burgers is coming soon. So shout out to Nip and his family and loved ones, man. But this is a classic project.
Absolutely.
And this is not one of those saying that because he passed away. No. I was saying this to people when he was alive.
Absolutely.
And I remember a lot of people when he passed away were hitting me up and were like, man, you put me on this music. Because I was telling like a lot of my friends, I was like, this is album of the year. Like,
yeah.
And a lot of people in Chicago that I knew weren't as hip to Nipsey stuff at the time. I feel like his base hadn't grown as much there. So a lot of people I know, they heard of Nipsey Hussle, but they didn't necessarily know his music. But when Victory Lap dropped, when I was putting people on, they were like, oh no, this is serious.
No, for sure.
I was like, no, Nipsey is one of those ones. So I was saying this when he was alive. And
it felt like album of the year back then.
Oh, absolutely.
It did, though.
No, it did. It did. And I have to go back and look at what dropped in 2018, but I'll be shocked if a hip hop album in 2018 might have been better than this.
I'll tell you which one rap album of the year that year. I think that following Grammy, it was Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy, brother.
I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna chill. Astro World dropped 2018.
I know, so that was what I thought could have won as well. But Victory Lap is, man, come on. Like, you know what I mean?
KOD dropped 2018 too. 2018 was a good year.
That was a good year for rap.
Your boy Drake, Scorpion dropped.
I do not like that album. I don't. I like the first half.
Oh, Daytona dropped 2018.
Oh yeah,
Daytona dropped too. So there was a lot. Okay, there was some heat out.
There was some fire.
A lot of people don't know about this album, but Royce da 5'9" dropped a fire album called The Book of Ryan.
The Book of Ryan. I never heard that joint.
Fire.
Yeah,
go back and listen to it. He talks about a lot of his upbringing and like his battles with alcohol. It's a fire album.
Royce is one of them ones. He's an alien like Black Thought.
Oh, he's on that list of like people where you're like, how does your mind work like this?
Honestly.
Yeah, Royce da 5'9" is definitely on that list.
I think the last album I heard in full is Tabernacle. But otherwise,
yeah, I think
I trust Royce with everything.
To be honest, but yeah, Book of Ryan I think was the last one I heard. Yeah, Book of Ryan was the last project that I heard of his.
And I think we both in LA or not LA, in Cali at that time. I was interning in 2018. Were you out there in
2018? I was I just later in 2018 I moved to like the Pittsburgh area, but I was back and forth in 2018. Yeah,
okay,
I was
so
in San Diego.
It hits different when you actually out there listening to like a Nipsey project.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, but I was back and forth out there during that time frame, and it was. Yeah, and that's why I said sometimes you got to experience music in that area because like if you weren't there when Victory Lap dropped, you don't know what Last Time I Checked was doing and like what that sounded like blaring out of a car. So if you know it's an experience, man. And I feel like that about a lot of West Coast music. I'm like you got to go there and experience it. Because remember when I said I hated Peekaboo when it came out, I loved GNX as a whole, but I didn't like Peekaboo until I heard it out and saw people Crip walking to it, and then I was like, you know what? This is better. Like now that I've seen it out in the setting where people are like actually dancing to it, and like I see the whole. It's like, oh, okay, I get this now.
Yeah, like you just gotta live there. Like there's certain artists when I'm on vacation, I have to listen to, otherwise I won't. Like when I'm back home, it's just a different energy when you're in that space.
Yeah, it's an entirely different vibe when you're actually immersed in. And I feel like it's the same way with anything. Like if you were in Chicago when Chief Keef dropped, you're gonna view it different than like I was in Illinois. I was just started college when all that stuff dropped. So I'm around all Chicago people, and I saw the energy of what that was doing. Like so it's you're gonna appreciate it sonically different.
For sure. Even shoot, I'll say, if you were in the Midwest too,
really? I already know y'all went crazy.
Bruh, I saw dudes with musty dreads everywhere in Columbus. Like they wanted to be Keith, bruh. I'm telling y'all.
No, you're not lying. Look, I believe it. Let me tell you, that was the era. Everybody had them little locks, boy.
They did,
them little locks was everywhere, man. People was trying. Even if you couldn't even grow none right, you was trying. Yeah, that was a wild era. So like, and of course there was the detrimental part of it. But I'm saying just the music and what songs like, Don't Like and Love Sosa and all that. If you were there with Finito, if you were there when that came out, other people might appreciate it, but it was different.
It was different, dog. I can only imagine in Chicago, but it was felt everywhere.
The DJ in our college town literally got fired from playing Finito. They told the DJ wasn't allowed to play that song because people would just act a fool. He played it anyway one day and got fired.
It was worth it, brother.
I
want to be the one to tell you.
Shout out to you, man. And people acted a fool, but nobody did anything too crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, come on, man.
It was that was a period. So sometimes you have to like actually be ingratiated in the culture to truly appreciate. Now, dope art is gonna transcend
for sure.
and which I think Victory Lap did. And, and Victory Lap was finally Nipsey really getting his credit as an artist.
For sure. And it was long overdue.
Oh, yeah.
It really was.
Because he had been out for a while.
For a while, bro. I want to say since, like, the first song I ever heard him, I want to say was 09. So, yeah, he been out for a minute, bro. But it felt like his
my first song
moment.
My first song I heard from Nipsey was Check Me Out.
Okay, yeah, 2013.
Check Me Out was the first one that I heard of his. I remember like, okay, this is hard. Yeah. But Victory Lap gave me a completely new appreciation. And people don't talk about FDT with him and YG. You know that song? Yeah. I ain't gonna say it on here because
that's a classic song. Just giving like, because we talk about political or politics within rap and how that was kind of. How that song played a part in it.
Absolutely.
In our new book, which y'all should buy. Absolutely. It's coming out.
Let me tell y'all, and the book is almost done. I just need to say that again. Yeah. The book is almost done. The book will be released 2026, man. We're going to announce on social media platforms what the new name of the book will be soon.
The official name, yeah.
Yeah, the name is now official. The cover is coming soon. It's that time.
Woo!
Yeah, it's that time. Yeah. But yes, that song was very impactful during that climate. So yeah, man. Shout out to Nipsey Hussle, man.
Absolutely.
Music legend, man. Oh man, we got to do Hidden Hits. We missed it last week.
Yeah, man.
We cannot miss Hidden Hits again, man. For those who do not know, first time listeners, Hidden Hits is a segment where we give you all some new, some old songs that were not hits, but we feel like they're so good they should have been hits.
Yes.
And we're gonna hit you with a couple things, man. I will. Let's see what we want. You got something loaded up?
Yeah, so I got something. So for those that don't know, I'm a big Griselda, especially Benny the Butcher fan. He dropped an album last month, and the song "Toxic" with Styles P. I think that's probably one of my favorite songs the past 2-3 months. Easy, bro. You got real rappers, bro, real spitters, bro, doing they best. So, and Styles P, again, we talked about underrated MCs. He's one of the most underrated. He is very much appreciated, but I still think he doesn't give enough credit. His song with Benny the Butcher, "Toxic," bro, that one is a banger.
Man, that's dope. Another man, one I'm gonna bring up, man, is y'all know, anybody who has listened to this show knows how much of an advocate for Big Crit I am. And I let it be known. Big Crit is one of the most underappreciated artists in hip hop history to me. I always say that because I truly believe it. But he recently released a song, believe it or not, with Bubba Sparks.
Wait, are they both from the same state?
I don't know where Bubba Sparks is from, to be honest with you.
They're definitely from the South.
It's definitely South, but I don't know if it's Mississippi. But Bubba Sparks and Big Crit dropped a song called "Yeah, Buddy." Definitely recommend checking that out. Another track that I want to give that may or may not be known. J. Cole, Port Antonio.
Yeah,
is one that I've been going back to, man. That is fire. Another one that I want to give, I'll give something older too. One is Consequence. Had a song called "Disperse" back in the day. Fire. Highly recommend checking that out. And then the last one I'll give is J. Cole and Benny the Butcher, Johnny P's Caddy.
Oh, bro.
Gotta give you that, man.
Amazing record.
Amazing record. And then one throwback. And this was on an album that I know you hate because you always mention it as an album that you hate. And this is a song with Common and Mary J. Blige called "Come Close."
Yeah, and it is Electric Circus.
It is on Electric Circus, but it is a masterpiece on Electric Circus.
Okay, it's possible with Common.
Yeah. So check it out, man. Smooth record. "Come Close," Mary J. Blige and Common. When you hear it, you probably be like, "I heard that before," because it was a pretty big song. But yeah, that's what I got, man, for Hidden Hits.
Yeah, man, I got two more. For those that aren't hip to Pro Era, that's Joey Badass's crew. I grew up a Joey Badass fan, and I always listen to like affiliates of his camp. Nick Caution, he just released a new song with Humblebee, which is called "Boom." He also released a new record with Katori Walker called "Good Company." I'd highly recommend if you just like dudes that just rap extremely well over like what I would consider like late 90s beats. Nick Caution is a great recommendation. And then if you like alternative rap, listen to Overcast new song, New Era, man. That's my hidden hits for the week.
Now you make me want to get one more. All right, this is it. For real, for real. Freddie Gibbs, Scotty Beam.
Oh,
if you've never heard that joint, hard.
Out of here.
And
Fire.
then Jeezy, ESTG, The Realist.
Okay, I never heard that one.
Oh, that's hard. Jeezy versus stupid, too.
ESTG and him linking up makes all the sense in the world.
It does.
It does.
And they both talking that talk on there, but Jeezy's versus crazy. Yeah, man. So y'all check that out, man. And that is Hidden Hits. Yo, man, it's been episode 46.
46, man. Yes, sir.
Man, make sure you are tapped in with us on social media. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok at Rap and Reason. Make sure that you are subscribed on YouTube.
Yeah.
Please make sure that you're subscribed. A lot of y'all are watching who are not subscribed. We appreciate you viewing, but make sure that you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you know when we drop content there. Also, make sure that if you listen via audio platforms, our Apple Music fans, Spotify fans, make sure that you give us those 5-star ratings, but also make sure you share it with a friend, man. Letting them know that this is the dopest hip-hop show out here, man. Nobody's breaking down music the way we are. It's not,
man. Tap in.
Tap in, man. And stay tuned for different book updates on our individual social media. I'm at Dr. Jeremy C. McCool. What's your Instagram?
And I'm at Earl Hopkins 1_ on all socials, man.
Yeah, man. Make sure y'all tap in with us, man. We out. Peace. Rap and Reason Podcast with Dr. Jeremy C. McCool and Earl Hopkins.